Time to wake up. It's Saturday morning. Find some milk and cereal. Grab a bowl and spoon. No, a bigger spoon. Head to the living room and take a seat on the floor while Joseph and Chris present to you Saturday Morning Cartoon!
Hello everybody, welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoon Boom! This is a show where we wake up with the Saturday morning sun, popped on the floor with a big bowl of sugary cereal, and watch our favorite cartoons, both old and new. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris. Top of the morning to you, Joseph. It's St. Patrick's Day today.
Oh wow, it is St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
I thought you were trying to do Uncle Scrooge.
No,
like,
I can't.
poorly.
I can't do Scottish very well. I don't know. I can't do Irish either or anything. I can't even speak English.
This morning, we watched Ducktales.
The original, the OG Tales. This was suggested to us by Mike Root via YouTube and Bobby B4000 via Reddit. So thank you, Mike and Bobby B. I like that, Bobby B.
Thanks, Bobby B and Mike.
Yes.
So wait a minute, did this come up like right after the other one on the rank list, or
Yeah,
did you
so
choose it? Like how?
Yeah, on the ranker, this one was trailing the reboot of DuckTales. So yeah, as soon as we went back to the number one on the list, ta-da, there it is.
All right. And this is your first time to ever see this show.
Yeah, I mean, I saw clips of it as a kid, but I never actually watched a full episode. So this is the first time that I really sat down and paid attention to this thing, or really gave it the time of day, you know?
Well, now I'm really interested to see what you have to say about it.
Sucks. No, I'm kidding.
Developed by Jim Magan and Brad Landreth, produced by Walt Disney Television and Walt Disney Television Animation, this ran for 4 seasons, 100 episodes, and had 1 film. And it was actually syndicated. It didn't air on any particular channel, just a whole bunch of them.
That makes sense because I felt like I couldn't escape. So I think I've talked about this as a kid. When I was a little kid, I just didn't want to have anything to do with the Disney animated shows. Like I just, for whatever reason, I didn't want to accept them, especially because there were so many ducks. And I was just like, why? Why so many ducks? This is stupid. And like I would have friends that would be like, oh, I got to go inside now so I can watch DuckTales. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? We can play with sticks outside or something and get really dirty. I just like, I don't know. I just had some weird aversion to all of these Disney animated cartoons, and I didn't want anything to do with them. And they just made me irrationally mad as a child.
That is very strange because I was kind of exactly the opposite with all things Disney as a child.
So like, I felt like they were everywhere, which is like, it makes sense that it was syndicated because I'm just like, why is this on like every channel that I would ever go to? Like, this sucks. And I didn't want to have anything to do with it.
Huh. Well, you're wrong, but that's okay. So for a short synopsis, the globetrotting, treasure-hunting, money-making adventures of billionaire Scrooge McDuck and his nephew.
Did they say nephew singular?
No, but they might as well have.
Yeah.
Right?
That would have been...
Huey, Dewey, and Louie in this show are pretty much clones of each other.
Yeah, exactly.
So who are some actors who played in this show?
So the voice of Scrooge McDuck was provided by Alan Young, who is known for television really early on as appearing in that show with that horse that talks, Mr. Ed. Mr. Ed, he played Wilbur. The horse is always like, Wilbur.
Yeah.
I don't know how horses speak.
That is not how Mr. Ed sounded.
I don't know, man. Wilbur. I'm trying to do it. I just can't.
I'm going to have to find out. I'm curious now.
He did voice some other cartoons, though. He actually voiced Keop from Battle of the Planets, which was one of the worst characters I've ever seen in anything of all time.
Oh, so he was that version.
He was
of
that
him.
one, yeah.
Okay.
He was also Farmer Smurf, Miner Smurf, and Scaredy Smurf.
There was a Farmer Smurf?
Yeah. And then he also reprised his role as Scrooge McDuck for the remastered DuckTales video game.
Oh, nice.
The voices of Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Webigail were all done by Rusty Taylor, which shows you just how diverse all of those ducks were. Rusty Taylor is known quite a bit in the animation industry. She was the voice of Pebbles Flintstone, Gonzo from the Muppet Babies, Martin Prince from The Simpsons, and she was the voice of Minnie Mouse from the early 90s all the way up till now, still going as Minnie Mouse. But like, there's one that I saw here, one thing on this list that I'm like, I got to bring up because I forgot this existed. Do you remember McDonald Land?
I didn't know it was a cartoon.
It wasn't, there was some animated aspects of it, but like, it was these shorts of like all of these like characters from like McDonald's because they couldn't just have Ronald.
Well, I remember that. I remember
Yes,
Birdie, I think.
she
Grimace,
was Birdie.
Hamburglar. Oh, she was Birdie. Okay, cool.
There's Mayor McCheese. I don't know if I don't
course.
think he was ever actually elected to office because his name is Mayor McCheese. Like, I think that's legit. His first name is just Mayor.
He was just born into the position like Farmer Smurf.
Exactly. It's weird, right?
He didn't have a choice.
That would suck if like you just really like you had poor leadership skills. You didn't want a place of authority, but you were born into it. Like you can't help it.
I want somebody's last name to be Mayor and then get elected as a mayor. So it'd be like Mayor.
John Mayer.
Yeah.
Mayor exactly. John Mayer.
I'm gonna lead McDonald's Land.
This budget is a wonderland. The voice of Duckworth was provided by Chuck McCann, who was the voice of Mummy Man and Drac Pack. You remember us doing that one a long time ago?
Oh, yeah. Of course.
He was also the voice of Blinky and Pinky from Pac-Man, Leatherneck from G.I. Joe, Mayor Grody from Toxic Avengers, and The Thing from the Fantastic Four animated series from way back in the day. Voice of Launchpad McQuack was voiced by Terrence McGovern. I said his voice was voiced by? Gosh, I told you I can't speak English. Terrence McGovern, who also reprised his role as Launchpad McQuack in Darkwing Duck, and he's also been in tons of video games and made several appearances in 70s and 80s sitcoms. Pretty much any sitcom, he was in it at least one episode. The character of Gyro Gearloose was voiced by Hal Smith, who's usually a narrator or announcer in anything Hanna-Barbera that you've ever heard. There's always like Wacky Racers and like all kinds of stuff. There's always some announcer or narrator in everything Hanna-Barbera, usually that guy. He was also the voice of Goliath in Davy and Goliath, that weird claymation thing with the boy and his dog.
Oh, yeah.
He was also the original voice of Owl from a lot of the Winnie the Pooh cartoons. Mrs. Beakley was voiced by Joan Gerber, who has done tons of various roles in lots of Hanna-Barbera cartoons through the 70s and up through the 90s, just like Hal Smith. And then finally, Donald Duck, voiced by Tony Anselmo. Like we talked about in the reboot, he was still voicing Donald. He has exclusively been Donald Duck for a very, very, very long time. We're talking multiple decades here. So that is basically the main cast. And what's weird to me is that in the episodes we watched, we didn't see like half of this cast almost at all, man. It was weird.
Yeah, it was weird to me that Webigail and Mrs. Beakley didn't show up at all.
None of the 3 episodes we watched, they were not in any of them.
Well, one of them was a very Launchpad heavy episode.
Yeah, and the other one was very Duckworth heavy.
Yeah, which is very strange because Duckworth was almost like a side character. But trust me, they're in this show.
I don't know.
I know that you were questioning it last time.
I haven't seen any. Yeah. So that's the thing is when we watched the reboot, I was like, is Webigail and Mrs. Beakley, are they new characters or were they part of the original? And you're like, they're part of the original. I have yet to see the proof. I think this is all a conspiracy. Y'all are just messing with me right now because it's easy to do. It's easy to trick me, but I'm catching on right now. I think you guys made this up.
I mean, you just told me that their voices were voiced by those characters.
You manipulated IMDb.com. I know you did. You and Kenneth Chisholm went in on this together. Just to screw with me, and I'm not going to fall for it anymore. Not after every other time.
Well, here's a few tasty marshmallows out of our big bowl of original Ducktales cereal. The series was the first Disney cartoon to be produced for syndication. This was a gamble on the studio's part, but this show was a big hit and paved the way for future Disney cartoon series such as Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, Tailspin, and Gargoyles to be syndicated. So this was the very first syndicated Disney cartoon.
Man, I can get down with some Gargoyles, but like Chip and Dale, that was another one that I was like, why?
I will have a forever crush on Gadget.
Well, who doesn't, though? I mean, there's no guy or maybe even girl that matter that watched that show and didn't have a crush on Gadget.
You have to. You can't avoid it.
I didn't even watch it, and I still have a crush on her.
And Tailspin was great, too. I don't know what your problem is. So the series Tailspin, speaking of, was originally intended to be a Ducktales spinoff featuring Launchpad, hence the word tail in the title of the series.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
In the Carl Banks comics, Scrooge McDuck was much greedier and meaner, who could be portrayed as much an antagonist as a protagonist. He was considerably toned down in this series to be more affectionate and kind-hearted.
That makes me wonder, like, I kind of want to go back and just see how mean he was, because I think that would be kind of fun.
Like in the comics?
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like as mean as he was in the very beginning when he's just walking down the street.
Yeah, I liked that.
Someone's asking him, penny for the poor? And he's like, they haven't earned it, or they don't deserve it, or something like that. Memory-wise, you've never seen it. We've gone over this many times. I had watched it so much as a child and loved it, and this was nice stepping back into it. So let's go ahead and jump into the episodes we watched for today's show. The very first episode, highest rated episode, and finally, a random listener chosen episode. Order may vary depending on how these episodes fall chronologically, but of course we have to start with the very first episode, which was Don't Give Up the Ship, Season 1, Episode 1, but it was part of a 5-parter called Treasure of the Golden Suns.
Yes.
So it's kind of confusing, but in this one, Scrooge McDuck is forced to take his 3 nephews, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, when their Uncle Donald enlists in the Navy, so that tracks. As they learn to get along, the mysterious El Capitan hires the Beagle Boys to steal a small wooden ship from Scrooge's museum, saying it is a map to a real treasure ship.
Yeah, that happened. I like the rebooted song way better than this. I mean, it's still the same lyrics and beat and stuff. I don't know. I don't know.
I think nostalgia is what keeps me like liking this one, not more, but it still holds like a special place in my heart. So I can't like say I like one better than the other.
And I still hear this song whenever Footloose starts on the radio.
Because it's that same beat.
Yeah, I'm always waiting for them to start saying something about Duckburg or whatever the heck.
Life being like a hurricane.
Life is like a hurricane here in Footloose.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it works. It actually works. But I actually enjoyed how mean Scrooge was at the beginning of this. Like, I was like, this is fun. This is my kind of character. But like, then they ended up ruining it by like making him like care about his nephews, which
have feelings.
Yeah,
because he was like not giving penny to the poor. He was told he could have free samples, and he's like, how many, or can I have more than one? And she's like, absolutely. And he just like takes all of them and is like, I'll be back tomorrow.
Right.
So he is like super greedy Scrooge at the beginning.
My favorite part too is he got offered those samples and he was like, no. And then she's like, they're free. And that's when he's just like, yeah, let me get this.
Yeah.
He is like the richest person in this world. Like literally, everyone's got that image of him swimming in his money. And like, he's still so cheap. It's ridiculous. I love it.
Well, that's actually how the show starts off, is with him swimming in his money.
Yeah, exactly. I love it.
Yeah, Donald's going to the Navy. You see him talking to his nephews, and like they don't want to go to Scrooge's because I guess they don't really have much familiarity with him and they don't like him very much.
Yeah, he's a stranger to them.
He takes them to Scrooge. They don't have like some rift like they did in the news show. He just like drops them off and is like, all right, bye. They see that it's a mansion. They see his huge place. And they're like, oh man, this might not be so bad after all. And then you see it like cuts to the next scene where they're just kind of locked in the attic or just stuck up there doing nothing. And that one, so there's a lot of parallels with the way they started the 2017 series. That being one of them, where they're just kind of locked in a room.
I am noticing that. And there's something else that I'm noticing too. Like, and I don't know if you picked up on this, like how close Huey, Dewey, and Louie were to going into the system. You know, they don't have parents. They get put with like their uncle, who's their guardian. And then he's just like up and like, yo, I'm going to join the Navy. Like, see ya. Here's this dude you never met. And like Uncle Scrooge, like at the beginning of this, doesn't want him either. And I'm like, dang, dude, they're so close to going into the system. Like, what would happen if like Child Protective Services just stopped by to check on these little ducks? And he's just swimming in his money and like using all of these little contraptions he has to literally throw people out of his windows when they ask for money. Like, oh my God,
yeah.
they were almost like into the foster home so quick.
Yeah, like anytime like he would get solicitors at his house, he would let them come in to try to sell them their wares. And instead, he would just kick them out in comical ways. Well, comical, like he would literally drop some of them out windows or make them fall through trapdoors.
Yeah.
Just to get a kick out of it. Like he had no intention of like even humoring them or trying to take whatever they were selling him, except this one who was like, this is what started the whole Junior Woodchucks thing.
Yeah.
He's like, we'll help your kids or we'll help your boys like stay out of trouble or whatever as he's about to get dropped out the window. And so he finally does like convince them because he's just had it up to here with the kids. They haven't really done anything yet. He just doesn't want them.
Yeah, exactly.
So they end up running away or starting to at least.
It boggles my mind that like if this wasn't Disney, those kids would have gone to the wrong side of the tracks real quick, you know? Like nobody wants them. That would make them feel so terrible.
Yeah, and like they actually hear him say it.
Yeah. But they missed him actually like say something nice right afterwards, which is kind of sad. But then
of course
it comes full circle and they, you know, it all comes together in the end. But some things I want to mention though is like we got El Capitan. Was that the dude?
Yeah.
He's like this secret bad guy person that in this episode we don't know exactly what he's up to other than he wants this ship and he helps these guys, these Beagle people,
boys,
Beagle boys,
the Beagle people
break out of prison so that they can steal that ship in Scrooge's museum that has this map in it or whatever. But I did want to mention El Capitan, voiced by Jim Cummings, and all of the Beagle boys voiced by Frank Welker, if you couldn't tell. All three of them.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Which was great.
Nice. It's just the stars colliding there.
Basically, yes. But I enjoyed that.
Yeah, so the Beagle Boys are just repeat villains in the Ducktales universe. The Beagle Boys are in prison for breaking into or trying to break into Scrooge's money bin 299 times. And they're going to be broken out by El Capitan with these bonbons, but they're like bombs. So they're like little bonbons, but they have clear wicks on them. So they explode when they're dropped or whatever.
So yeah, they bust out of the thing. They're like, hey, yeah, let's go steal that thing, that ship thing. But like it just happens. There's happenstance that like the boys who have no personality of their own, they're just a hive mind. All three, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, it's just the same personality.
They're all exactly the same.
It's sad. But I mean, they're hollow inside, Joseph. Nobody wants them. And so I got to give them a pass for that. They're hollow. It turns out that they were like getting, they're bored. They don't have anything to do there. So they went into Scrooge's museum. They saw this ship. They wanted to play with it. And they got caught because it set off an alarm. Scrooge got really angry at them. So when the Beagle Boys get there, at the time that the boys, the other boys, the ducklings, are about to run away from home, like they see them running, or the Beagle Boys walking into the vault. They follow them. They go into the museum, and the Beagle Boys are trying to steal the ship, which they do. They escape, and our little duck boys, they get the blame from Scrooge because, the last time he saw them, they were trying to take it and mess around with it. So they got grounded and took the fall.
Well, they were trying to take it to send it to Donald since he had gone off to the Navy. We get to see him interacting on the ship that he's stationed on. And he's like, he sends him a letter that's talking about how he's like working on jet planes and stuff like that, and how he's gotten the attention of the sergeant or whatever. And it's like all, his mishaps because it's Donald Duck. He's the clumsiest, the unluckiest duck in the world. They are trying to get the ship. They feel like they're not wanted. They try to explain it to Scrooge, like you said, that it's the Beagle Boys, but he doesn't believe them. I don't know why he wouldn't believe them, because how would they even know who the Beagle Boys are coming into this to
I
make
don't
that
know.
excuse?
I'm assuming like they've probably been in the newspaper and stuff, like
I guess so.
if they've been arrested that many times. I mean, it's basically like Florida Man. I mean, except
yeah.
for us, Florida Man, I mean, you could kind of just see as Florida Man as like a coagulation of all people from Florida, but like, you hear about it. So I'm sure they've heard of the Beagle Boys in that world.
The Beagle people. Yes.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. We also saw that like Duckworth bathes Scrooge, which is weird to me. I was like, oh, dude, why? It kind of reminds me of that movie Arthur from not the rebooted one, but the one from way back. Was it in the 70s or 80s? It was made. You know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
This rich guy and the butler like made him bathe him and stuff. It's gross.
Oh, wait, yeah, I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So this is also the episode where Scrooge has his like tagline, "Smarter than the Smarties and tougher than the Toughies," which they do repeat in the 2017 version. So I wanted to point that out. He's got this interview at this candy factory he owns, just to talk about how he got rich and stuff. The boys come crashing in with the Beagle Boys. This is where, Scrooge finally believes them because, here they are in the flesh. And so they team up together. Scrooge basically destroys his factory to stop them by spilling chocolate all over the place.
Yeah, I had trouble understanding this part of where like he's so stingy, like he won't even waste like a dime to give, like he could find a dime on the sidewalk and then someone could be like, oh, can I have that dime? Like I just need that much more to get on the bus to go see my dying grandmother. And he would be like, no. But like here, he's just like, here, let me use all of our resources in this candy factory to like mess with these Beagle Boys. Like I'm going to spill fudge everywhere. All the equipment in this entire factory is now ruined. And like he doesn't bat an eye. And I'm like, that doesn't track.
He has no issues destroying his own stuff at all.
It's like as long as he's like inconveniencing somebody, like it's cool. He'll spend the money to inconvenience them.
Well,
I like that.
I think it mainly is he's just greedy. He doesn't like to give to anyone else, but he still can destroy his own stuff. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
As long as he's having fun.
And I can respect that a lot.
Yeah, that's top level greed. Love it.
I have respect for him.
I respect that. You have to.
But the boys won all kinds of merit badges from the Woodchucks because what they did was broadcast on TV. So that guy that you were talking about earlier saw him on the news and was just like making it rain with merit badges.
Oh, yeah.
That's fun.
And then we see El Capitan come in at the end and swear revenge, which is what sets off the other 4 episodes of this little miniseries. But as far as the first one goes, that's the end of it. And I think it's a good, solid start. And it doesn't make it where you have to continue that particular line of episodes to still make it a pretty solid one.
I was a little worried about that because there's been times before where we're like, okay, the first episode is actually like a 2 or 3-parter. And we want to get like a really good feel for it. So we're like, crap, I guess we'll watch all of those and review it. But like this one, it ended on a pretty solid note. And yeah, it didn't feel like we needed to do that, which is great because that would have been basically an entire movie. And then we'd still have 2 more episodes to go. So interesting, though. That's pretty much the last of Scrooge we get with all the episodes we did watch. It's like, all right, well.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. It's pretty true. He has like cameos in the next 2 episodes.
I mean, I feel like I got a good feel for his character, though, from this one. And it's what I expected, and I liked it.
We get to see him go from like top level greedy to greedy, but still a family man.
Yeah, greedy, but having fun with it.
Yeah,
that was good. That's good.
So the next episode we watched was Double O Duck, season 1, episode 48, which was the highest rated.
Yeah.
When a spy who looks exactly like Launchpad is caught, Launchpad is offered to impersonate that spy in order to foil an evil plot.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to ask you this. Is Launchpad pretty much like the favorite character from this series?
I would say so, because Launchpad overall has the most, like he's in the most series, the most crossover things, because he's in this, he's in Darkwing Duck.
Yeah.
And he's in the new version of this. So I mean, just being a Darkwing Duck alone, like, sets him apart. So Launchpad overall has the most episodes, I think.
Okay. That makes sense. That this is the highest rated episode then, because it's all about Launchpad. Like the boys aren't in this whatsoever. You only get a cameo from Scrooge. It's really all about Launchpad. And I actually I enjoyed it quite a bit. Out of the 3 episodes we watched, I actually like this one the most, to be honest.
Well, this is the highest rated.
Thought it was fun.
I want to mention that there's a crossover from Darkwing Duck in this. I don't.
Really?
I think this one probably came first, but the Foul organization, the foreign organization for world larceny, that is in Darkwing Duck as well.
Oh, cool. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's a shared universe. So that's cool.
This is very they reference a lot of different things in this episode, mainly referencing obviously James Bond kind of stuff, but I noticed a few other nods also. Another pretty blatant one was the Casablanca nod at the very end, where they do pretty much that entire speech. But then also mainly when Launchpad is first being recruited and gonna take off, the music, they play a few notes from the Indiana Jones theme.
Yeah, like there was so much happening here and so many references. I'm sure I missed a ton of them.
Yeah.
But a lot of it was play on words and puns too.
Oh, definitely.
This is a very pun heavy episode. I love where Launchpad, like where the president or whoever that guy was, like
Hoover?
kept calling him Lunch Pail.
Lunch Pail. And he started getting used to the name because they're like, we need to give you a code name. He's like, oh, I was getting used to Lunch Pail.
Yeah.
So, like, I guess the whole premise of this thing is that they caught this spy for Dr. No Good?
Yep. Just like Dr. No.
Dr. No. I just now figured that out. Oh my God, I'm an idiot. They catch the spy named Bruno for Dr. No Good, and the government, I guess, is just like, okay, well, they mistook Launchpad for this guy because they look identical except for their hair. So then when they catch Bruno and have both of them, they're like, oh, okay, you really are, not Bruno, but we could use this to our advantage because Dr. No Good is expecting Bruno to meet with this other target to do like some sort of drop off. We're going to use you so we can catch them. Hence, everything starts off. So they give him all these gadgets, very reminiscent of James Bond. In fact, so is it Gyro? Gyro, that's the name.
Yeah.
Gyro is the one making all this stuff, and Launchpad actually refers to him as G, which is definitely a reference to James Bond's Q, which was fun. I like that. He earns the nickname Agent 00 Duck instead of 007. That was fun. He meets Feathers Galore, which is, I'm not going to say what the name that one's based off of.
If you know, you know.
If you know James Bond, you know the word that I'm not going to say. But Feathers Galore, voiced by Tress MacNeille, which is great. She was also voicing the phone operator that Launchpad kept talking to. But I loved Feathers Galore. I like that character a lot. That was one of my favorite parts of this episode, to be honest.
She was really cool, and she kept wanting smoochy.
Oh, yeah. She was totally trying to hook up.
So he has to, I like there's a lot of play on, like I said. I like where he needs to go to New Delhi, which is in India, but first he has to go to the New Delhi, which is an actual deli, to get a sandwich, and then go to New Delhi in India with that sandwich. It's a whole thing where it's almost like a Who's on First situation, or it reminded me a lot of Animaniacs, something that would happen in that show.
Oh, absolutely.
First of all, like Feathers Galore thinks that he's actually Bruno, but as he's just like pushing her away and telling her like, we need to just do the mission or whatever, she finds out that he's a secret agent or whatever, that he's not Bruno. She tells the rest of Fowl that, and so they're basically like, all right, give him the kiss of death. She puts on that poison lipstick and keeps trying to smoochy. And like he gets away, of course. And he gets into he gets away in his car, which I liked. It was called the Thunder Clutch Whirl Dinghy or something like that. And so it's a car / helicopter / boat. And he's falling, like he's getting away, like they're driving on the side of a mountain, the whole scene. And he like slides off the side of it. And as he's falling, he tries to like turn it into the helicopter, but he breaks the switch on it. And I think he just kind of hits it like you would an old TV. And it eventually, it turns into a boat. He has a parachute on his back, or what he thinks is a parachute, but that ends up being a raft. And so he just kind of falls with that raft, like breaking his fall a little bit. And then the car comes down and turns into the helicopter. Then it starts floating downward.
The whole part was fun. He ends up going into, what was it? It was a deli again, wasn't it?
Yes.
And finds the secret lair of Dr. No Good.
Right. Their lair is actually in a deli.
Yeah. And Odd Duck, which, I mean, if you're familiar with James Bond stuff, obviously that's a play off of Odd Job.
Right.
But he was kind of a mix of both Odd Job and Jaws, which I liked.
Yeah.
Launchpad, he has all these weird gadgets that are ridiculous. He's got the bow tie that takes photos. He's got a toupee that shoots bullets like it's a gun, which is ridiculous. But they do the thing that I liked where, like, every time he shoots it, it's usually an accident, but he does shoot it at Odd Duck, who catches it in his beak. And I thought that was pretty cool because if I remember right, Jaws catches a bullet in his teeth, doesn't he? In one of the James Bond movies.
Yeah, exactly.
He was in, I think Jaws was in 2 different James Bond movies. I just don't remember for sure, but he was my favorite James Bond bad guy. I love Jaws.
He was one of the most fun to play for me on the N64 GoldenEye too.
Yes.
I mean, everyone loved to be Oddjob because he was tiny and could get away, but I like being Jaws just because he's huge and menacing.
I was always Jaws, which means I always lost. But Jaws was great. I was always Jaws or Trevelyan, but
this
Jaws
is another
awesome.
Darkwing Duck thing. Not that there was a tie-in right here, but I'm trying to remember the name. I think it was like Steelbeak or something. It was basically like Jaws.
Oh, okay.
Now I have to look because it's going to bother me. It was literally like a rooster with like metal beak.
Nice. Okay. That's kind of cool. And Launchpad ends up getting caught and thrown into a literal like lion pit. But in addition to that, Feathers was in there too. And then they're like basically having to work together to get out of there. But Launchpad ends up like saving her. So like she's super like grateful and kind of like falls in love with him right there. So it's like it doesn't matter about like Bruno and stuff. Like she honestly loves Launchpad, which was great. And I was like, do it, man. Like give into this because I'm shipping it hard.
Give into the smoochy smooch.
Give into it right now. And then they straight up murder Dr. No Good.
Oh yeah.
They kicked him into a vat of acid.
That's right. I was expecting him to come out of it in some way or like, but they're just like, well, that's it.
Well, he's murdered. Let's move on, kids.
He's murdered. Yeah. That really is it. And then it gives the Casablanca line and then it's over.
Yeah, it's all done.
I really feel like they would have done something tamer with it, like trapped him in chocolate or something, something really kiddie. But no, he just falls into an acid pool.
I figured it was going to be like slimy, or he would pop out and just be coughing or something. Or like maybe he would just turn green and it would just kind of change his character. Or like I actually really expected at the end, like him to like rise out of it, like with his fist, like, I'll get you.
Yeah.
But no, he's just dead. They just killed this guy. The Casablanca moment between Launchpad and Feathers was super cute, though. I really loved that.
It was, yeah. I didn't expect it to be a direct quote, but yeah, he went through with the whole thing.
Yeah.
Ended on some kind of joke, though, with him running out of gas or something, where he said he should have filled up in Istanbul. Yeah. The last episode we watched for today's show was Duckworth's Revolt, Season 1, Episode 50, which was Bobby's pick.
This was Bobby's pick. Thanks, Bobby.
Thank you, Bobby. This was a weird episode, but after Duckworth is fired so he can find his own fortune, he and the nephews are captured and enslaved. How will they get back to Earth?
I was very confused right away because I'm like, wait, we got some alien vegetables kidnapping an elephant from her bathtub.
You know what? I thought it was going to be like a movie they were watching at first or something.
Yeah, I thought it would be something different too, but nope. Like you said, for the synopsis, Duckworth gets fired by Scrooge because Scrooge feels bad that Duckworth has never had a chance to realize how great money is. So he fires him to go make his own fortune and find his own way before coming back to him. But then, like, the boys are all sad and they go hang out with him by this bench while he's waiting for a bus to take him. And then they just get abducted by aliens instead. So like that's a thing.
It starts in a direction completely different than you expect it to go.
Oh, yeah.
Like if they didn't preface it with those aliens abducting those creatures at first, it would have come out of nowhere.
And it was weird to me because they were abducted by vegetable people to work in a vegetable garden in space.
See, that's what I was wondering. Is that like their nursery or are they cannibals? I wasn't sure.
Well, it turns out that I think that was basically their nursery.
Okay.
But yeah, at first I was very confused as to what was going on. I'm like, wait, what is this?
See, you know what would have been really weird is if they were like growing people in there.
Oh, duck people or animal people, I guess. Any animal people.
Yeah, that would have been dark. Well, I did want to say real quick before they got abducted and Duckworth was talking to them, like they tried to scare him, like dressed as a vegetable or something, dressed as like
a tree
monster
thing?
tree or
Yeah,
something.
I don't know.
Yeah. And then they're talking about how they want him to take them to see the Creep Show marathon. And I know it's not the same Creep Show, but I just like that they said Creep Show on here.
Of course, you were just like, yes, finally.
Yes, I love Creep Show.
Finally, they acknowledge horror in Ducktales. Like I've been waiting for this moment.
So they the vegetable aliens, there's a garlic guy. They have names. Oh gosh, what was the garlic? It was like Lieutenant Garlic or something.
Yeah, there's a squash boy. I hated that squash person.
Squish, squash,
God,
squish, squash.
Yes, that was so annoying. Anyway.
He was the big bruiser guy.
Yeah, and there was the broccoli boy that his name was
Brigadier Broccoli.
Brigadier Broccoli. Wow. Interesting. I don't know what to say about that. Here's the thing though, like there were some very subtle lines in this that were way funnier than anything in any of the other episodes. And surprisingly usually came from the kids. And I couldn't tell you which one because they're all basically the same person.
They're all the same. Yeah, they blend together. What were some of the lines? Do you remember?
Yeah. So there was the one where like they meet the other slaves and they're thrown in this pen and one of them's just like, how long will we have to be here? And someone's like, forever. And then someone else is like, just give up hope. And he's just like, geez, sorry I asked. And that just made me laugh. But there was a few other ones too where like towards the end when they're like kind of not quite escaping, but on their way to escape, where they take control of the ship and it's about to like crash on a planet. They're like, we're going to crash and we're not even with Launchpad.
Oh yeah.
But my favorite one is when like one of the kids like yells at these vegetable aliens and is just like, you rejects from a salad bar. Like that, like legit. I started cracking up with some of these lines these kids were spitting. I was like, this is awesome. Why don't they do that more often with these kids? Yeah, it was funny, man. I got a really, really good kick out of those lines.
Those are pretty good lines. Mm-hmm. I do remember those actually as you're saying them.
Yeah, they were great.
So yeah, everybody's like all these people they're capturing. It's almost like a collector situation, but instead of putting them on display, they're just all forced to work in the nursery garden or something.
Yeah.
And eventually it comes to the point where Duckworth is put in a situation where he's supposed to be trying to like, you know, help save the boys or help save everyone. And he just is very cowardly about it and just very submissive. And this is kind of a turn in his character where he hears the boys call him like a yellow-bellied chicken or something.
Yeah.
And it really hits him hard. And he's like, wow, like if I don't do something, like we're going to be enslaved forever. So I need to do this not only for the boys, but for myself. He has gained the trust of the aliens because he's been so submissive and so like such a yes man to everything they've asked that they really trust him completely. And he uses that to his advantage and kind of forms a plan. And so that's when he's like, all right, I've laid this all out. Here's what we're going to do. And he sets it up where he's able to get himself and the boys behind enemy lines and up into their control center, where I guess there's red buttons that will destroy the vegetables in some way or freeze them or something. I don't know exactly what was going to happen, but they were threatening to push all these different buttons.
Ooh, I'm just imagining some roasted carrots with a nice like butter and whiskey glaze.
Mm.
That would be nice. I'd be into that right now.
I'm already very hungry, so that's not helping.
I know, dude. I'm so hungry right now. But there's no bars open or restaurants or anything to get food.
There's nothing open.
There's nothing. I'm so sad.
The problem was like the reason they were doing all this is because their planet Vegedonia began to freeze because their sun was burning out or their sun was dimming. And so they were forced to borrow, quote unquote, workers from other planets. And that's when Duckworth's like, dude, no, that's slavery. You can't do this.
Right.
Like, we have to stop it. That's where it kind of hits the point where the boys come to save him. We get Mr. Squish Squash running around trying to do stuff with Lieutenant Garlic. This is where we get to see Duckworth kind of become the hero of the whole thing. Like, he helps to free the captives.
Yeah, he kind of like ends up leading a revolt, which was really cool to see. Like, I mean, he totally was just kind of like changed his I don't want to say changed his demeanor, but like he grew a little bit as a character right there. And that was really enjoyable to see, especially for like a character that, I mean, kind of throughout the beginning of the episode, I mean, what they were really getting at is that he hasn't really done anything for himself. Like, he's all about other people, and he's a little bit of a pushover here. Now he's literally leading a revolt against this like ship, and I just thought that was really cool.
I did like his line too, where it's like, instead of "we're really mad and we're not going to take it anymore," he's like, "We're quite perturbed and we're not going to allow this any longer."
That was good.
His battle cry. Yeah,
I like that a lot. Yeah. But yeah, dude really stepped it up. He kind of reminded me a little bit of a not that you guys should ever watch it, but like if you ever watched Gotham, the way that they do Alfred in that one, it kind of reminded me of that a little bit, which was pretty cool.
It's actually kind of like they made Mrs. Beakley in the 2017 Ducktales.
Yeah, like, yeah.
She's more of a force to be reckoned with. She's not just Scrooge's assistant or whatever.
Right.
But this is where we find out, like, instead of it being like, okay, I'm going to go make my own riches or whatever, he was doing all the things for Scrooge and the boys and everyone because he wanted to. So he wasn't a slave, as the boys kept saying, to, Scrooge's demands. He was doing it because that's what he loved to do. And so he fights for everyone's freedom so that he can go back to just being a mild-mannered butler, which is what he loves.
Yeah.
So he gets hired back on, and he is delighted to help him. And so it's a nice wrap-up that doesn't really change his place in the story, but it does strengthen his character a little more.
Exactly.
Well, Chris, it looks like it's about time we send our inner kids back to Duckburg to get another serving of trouble, this time with the side of space veggies. Then tell us what they thought of the original Ducktales.
This cartoon was kind of fun, but sometimes felt a little bit lame. Like, Launchpad and Scrooge were a ton of fun, and I want to be just like Scrooge when I grow up, so I can swim around in my money and not give a single penny to anyone, and then use some of it to pull pranks. Even Duckworth was okay, but Huey, Dewey, and Louie were just boring most of the time. I like the other cartoon better, so I gave this one 3 bowls of Double O Duck cereal out of 5. And now I want to grow up and be a secret agent so I can get some smoochy from Feathers Galore.
While this show definitely feels different from its modern reboot and was a product of its time, it doesn't really feel outdated. Some of the pun-heavy jokes fall a little flat, but the adventures are still exciting and the characters are all still quirky and lovable, even though Huey, Dewey, and Louie are basically the same character, but with a palette swap. DuckTales was deservedly one of the most popular shows of its time, and can still be credited with having the catchiest theme song ever. Overall, I'd give the original DuckTales 4.5 big bowls of its Launchpad cereal out of 5, and think this is this classic series that will always stand the test of time and space. Now be sure to eat your veggies, kids, lest they overtake and enslave us all.
Yeah, I really would like to not ever be abducted by vegetables. But then again, like, I feel like because I've eaten so little of them throughout my life that maybe they would take some pity on me. Maybe we can just be friends.
I definitely know how easy it is to snap a piece of celery in half, so I'm assuming I could hold my own if put under pressure.
All right, but I mean, you can't snap a potato in half. If the potatoes come running, I'm going to be joining up with them. I'm just letting you know now.
Ooh.
I can understand why this was so appealing to kids back then when it came out. Like, I really can. It's got some really fun stuff. It's got some really cool characters, but like, I think the big problem that it has for me is that the main characters, which are Huey, Dewey, and Louie, are like, they're basically nothing. There's not much personality to them. The personality they do have is just basically a hive mind. There's no variation. And like, to me, it just comes off as being really dull. But like, now that I've seen the reboot and then went back and saw this after, like, I can kind of appreciate the bones of this show and how Disney really fixed all the mistakes that it had with the new reboot.
Now, do you think if you had seen this first, reboot aside, that you would feel any differently?
I don't know. I think that maybe I would, if I had watched this first, well, I don't know. I want to say I'd have more appreciation for the reboot, but I really liked the reboot. So I don't know that I would feel that differently. I think, though, that if I had watched this as a kid, though, I'm sure I would have that nostalgia factor and be really into it. I think I would be questioning, like, what happened to Duckworth? Is he dead? Or because I don't think he's in the reboot, right? He's not in it at all.
I told you he was in like one of the episodes we watched. His ghost was.
Yeah, the ghost. Yeah, he is dead. That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, he makes appearances periodically in the new one just as a ghost.
That's so strange. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I get, for me, it's like I watched that one, this one, when I was a kid, and I have a lot of nostalgic feelings toward it. Maybe that dampens a little bit of the problems that it has, because I'm looking at it as, at the time, I remember loving it. Like, that was one of my favorite shows. Yeah, the characters, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, like, they were literal clones of each other, but I didn't know that they could be anything different, which is why I was asking, like, do you think it would be different if you had seen that with no knowledge of the new show at all?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I probably would have pointed it out, because I'd be like, you've got 3 characters here that you could do so much with, and instead you're just, basically, you could have just had one character, you know, you could have had the one nephew, if that was going to be the case, like one nephew and Webigail getting into stuff.
I wonder if it's any different in the comics, like if those characters have any kind of personality traits that set them apart.
Back in the day, I would guess not. I would guess that this is probably like, the plan was for these triplets to be pretty much the exact same character. But I appreciate that they aren't any longer, and that you can tell a difference between them, because they're not all wearing the same clothes. It's just a different color.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, before we get out of here, don't forget to check out the Saturday AM magazine issue that should be coming out as you're listening to this, March 21st, which should have the interview with me and Joseph that they conducted, where you can learn all kinds of things about us and the show and how we got started doing what we do. We also have some 5-star reviews and a nice email that I need to read. This first 5-star review on Apple Podcasts is from Decabal, I don't know, who says, a perfect review cartoon show. Hey guys, new listener here. I really love the show. I appreciate your positivity and fun analysis of our childhood cartoons. It scratches my nostalgia itch. I totally respect that you guys don't curse, as well as making it accessible for everyone to listen to. Been downloading a bunch of episodes, and it's just a treat to listen to. Also enjoy the sound clips that you include. Great editing. Look forward to more shows. I highly recommend Galaxy High, and will definitely join the many followers in suggesting cartoon shows to you. And that is from David Cabal at Retro Cabal on Twitter. So thank you so much, David. That's super cool.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you. And I appreciate you complimenting the edits.
You would. And then another 5-star review. This is from Thomas Couch from the Almost Human podcast. So cool. Another podcaster.
Oh, nice.
Go check out his podcast, see if you like it. He says, I love the content. Hope you continue to push out new episode. I'm guessing he meant episodes, but new episode. Well,
Nope,
here you go.
Just one more. That's
We
all
will
got
do
left.
one more episode just for you, Thomas. Thank you so much for your 5-star review. And then
Yes, thank you.
we have a nice email here that I wanted to read real quick once I can discover it once again. And this is from Travis Wertz, who says, hello, Chris and Joseph. I recently discovered the podcast and have really enjoyed it. I've only listened to a handful of episodes about cartoons I watched or am at least familiar with, except the rock and roll wrestling one, which I just had to hear what this was about. That was a fun one. Anyway, listening to this inspired me to do some digging for some tunes that you haven't covered. I'm sure you've had plenty of suggestions, so I'll just give a few that you might have fun with. So he goes on to list a few like Camp Candy, Challenge of the GoBots, Inspector Gadget, Garfield and Friends, and Tasmania.
I really thought we did Garfield and Friends. Did we
Nope.
not?
Not yet. Not yet.
Man, weird. Okay.
He goes on to say, I have others, but I thought these would be a good start. Hope you consider them at some point. Thanks for the podcast and the laughs. Take care, Travis. Thank you so much, Travis. That's really awesome. And yes, we will add.
Yeah.
I think one or two of these is on the list. I want to say Challenge of the GoBots, maybe Camp Candy, but I'm not sure. But we'll make sure that if they're not, that they get on there along with the other ones. So, yeah, really excited to hit several of those because I think just about each one he listed is something that I watched as a kid and would be really excited to go back to and kind of take another look at.
I've never seen the GoBots. That's the only one out of that list, I think. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I used to have some GoBots toys because I was like, man, I'm running out of like Transformers stuff to buy. Guess I better move on to GoBots.
Let me tell you something that shocks me about our show in general.
Yeah.
We've done Barnyard Commandos, but we have not done Garfield and Friends.
Right? Isn't that weird?
I don't get that.
And here's the thing. It's because our listeners like to troll us, Joseph. That's why we get some of the things we get, like Turbo Teen and things like that.
Oh, Turbo Teen.
That's why we have had Barnyard Commandos, but we have not had Garfield and Friends.
Thing ring, do your thing.
Yes. Oh, God.
You remember.
Oh,
I'll never
I do
forget.
remember. I've been trying to block it out, but I can't. Can't do it. But
We're
thank
ready
you
to party. We're ready.
God. Thank you to everyone for leaving the reviews and for all the kind messages and stuff like that. We hope that all of you are staying safe and happy and healthy as things are getting pretty weird out there. Just wish the best for all of you guys and that you're safe.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hope everybody's okay and we're going to make it through.
We will. And if you get bored, you have 213 other episodes or something to like scroll back through and then listen from the start. If you want to torture yourself that way, you can do that. Oh, I did want to mention that the website for Saturday AM, the magazine, is saturday-am.com. So this Saturday, go and check it out. Check out, I think, new issues. I think the week that they come out, I think it's free to check out. So if so, check it out. See if you can find the interview with Joseph and myself.
Thank you to Mike and Bobby for suggesting this to us. I personally love it, and it was fun jumping back into it.
Yeah, it was cool. I'm glad I finally got to see it and see what all the hype is about, because y'all like some Ducktales, apparently.
Woo!
I'm saying y'all way too much lately. I've been hanging out with you way too much, Joseph. I've never lived in Texas, and I keep saying it. What is going on?
It just makes sense.
I live like the complete opposite. I'm in Minnesota where it's cold. I can't say y'all. I'm supposed to say
what do you say?
And
you use guys?
No, we don't do that. That's more Brooklyn, man. We say oofta or oh, let me just sneak past you there.
Just sneak past you.
We're all a bunch of Duckworths. Like, we're just so so passive.
Well, listeners, it looks like our milk supply is now run dry, so it's time for us to say goodbye. And in 2 weeks, we'll be watching
Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd Century, suggested by me, apparently. I don't remember. I don't know what to expect. It might be fun. It might be really bad.
I'm going to go in with an open mind because I've been surprised before by shows I thought were going to be terrible. But in the back of my mind, I feel like it's going to be terrible.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about this one. It just sounds like it can't be great.
Well, once again, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
And we'll see you next Saturday.
Presented by Nerdsloth,
a place for lazy nerds.
If you like what you heard, consider donating at patreon.com/nerdsloth so we can continue bringing you quality shows. Be sure to also leave us a review and share your favorite episodes and clips on social media. If you're looking for more content, visit us at nerdsloth.com.